Voting is a civic duty. Let's register on the electoral list. This is a message from Equinoxe Television.
Good evening, faithful viewers of Equinoxe Television, 6 p.m. in Douala. It's time for the news in the English language. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Our magistrates this evening, road users of the National Road number 8, precisely from Mutengene to Mile 17 in the Fako division of the Southwest region, have been crying foul for some time now. The stretch around Mile 14 to Mile 16 is in a very deplorable state. Passengers say they spend almost 2 hours for a distance of less than 15 minutes. We take you to discover the dilapidated state of the Mutengene Mile 17 stretch of road in this news edition. And over to Garua, where Christians of the Baptist Church are furious and totally confused. This was after their annual youth rally was cancelled by the divisional officer for Garua 1. Details of those stories and more in this newscast, so stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. Let's begin with the updates of the 14-year-old girl who was kidnapped in the New Bell neighborhood and was later released allegedly by her kidnappers. A sigh of relief for the Quaker family after the return of their daughter, who had been held captive in an unknown location by unidentified individuals for over a week. In the report which comes up next, Immaculate Fogwe narrates the circumstances that led to her kidnap and how she managed to escape.
After staying in captivity for a week, 14-year-old Grace is finally free. Kidnapped on Tuesday, August 13, by two unidentified individuals at a playground in Casino New Bell, Douala 2 subdivision, the teenager explains the circumstances that led to her kidnap. On Tuesday, I was at the Saint Raymond playground with my coach and other teammates watching the Maracana match. At 6 p.m., the match was over, so we all left. While on my way home, a little boy came and told me that my coach was calling for me. So while heading back to the field, I noticed two boys were following me. Before I could notice, they covered my nose with a handkerchief and sent me into a trance. While in captivity, she affirms to have been molested by kidnappers. Traumatized by the incident, the teenager explains that the past 1 week has been a living hell for her and some other teenagers who are still in captivity in the uncompleted building. She now recounts how she and another abductee managed to escape. I woke up and noticed my hands and legs were tied. I equally saw other girls who were younger than me in the same building, and they were all crying and pleading that they be set free. After spending a week there, I managed to untie myself. I equally saved another girl who was close to me, and we both escaped. While struggling to make my way home, I saw a woman and I told her I was stranded. She took me to her house, to water, and began massaging my hands and legs. She equally gave me food and water to drink. She later asked me to rest. After explaining to her that I was kidnapped, she got scared and asked me to leave the house the next day because she could be accused of having a hand in my kidnap. She had later put me on a bike and I was brought to my neighborhood. While leaving, she gave me this chain, assuring me that it will protect me. Despite the fact that her daughter is now free, Grace's mother expresses concerns about her mental health while calling on authorities to begin a search mission that will enable the release of other captives. When she arrived at the house, I wasn't home because I was still looking for her, so someone called to inform me that she was home. When I arrived, she hugged me. Since she got home, she has been so traumatized. I am calling on the authorities to see how they can save the other girls who are still in captivity. She told me they are being molested. I want to thank Equinoxe TV for all the help offered and equally God Almighty.
Le scénario, c'est qu'elle a vécu ce qui s'est passé et elle était vraiment pâle.
It should be recalled that this is the fourth case of kidnapping recorded in the New Bell neighborhood. As of now, family members and Grace's friends are all happy that she is alive and currently in their midst.
Still on insecurity, an operation can be coordinated by the commander of the Douala 2 Research Brigade led to the arrest of 3 suspected armed robbers who were terrorizing the inhabitants of Carrefour CCC in the Douala 3 area. The suspected individuals were caught in possession of 2 daggers and other dangerous weapons. Details with Cedric Chakutu.
3 suspected armed robbers in possession of 2 daggers of 50 centimeters long each were arrested after a keen operation done by the elements of the Douala 2 Research Gendarmerie Brigade, coordinated by the Douala 2 company captain. The individuals were picked up on the night of August 17th at the Ndokoti crossroad.
En date du 17 août 2024,
on the 17th of August 2024, we followed a group of individuals at the level of CCC.
Et nous nous sommes mis à leur poursuite et les avons rattrapés au niveau du carrefour Ndokoti. C'est alors qu'interpellés et conduits à notre unité.
Then caught them red-handed at Ndokoti crossroad in possession of 2 daggers under the seat of their bikes.
Long chacun de 50 cm environ.
Musa and his mate deviated the destination of their victims before robbing them in a corner away from traffic.
Ceux-ci ont pour habitude de faire emprunter une moto par leurs complices et qui, chemin faisant, changent de destination et proposent un montant assez plus élevé au pilote. C'est comme ça qu'ils l'orientent dans une zone où sont postés ses comparses et à leur arrivée, ceux-ci sortent de leur cachette et sous la menace des poignards, ils arrachent leur moto qu'ils écoulent dans le marché noir.
While investigations continue, the 3 men will be presented before the Attorney General in the days ahead, where they will receive their sentence.
And in the midst of all this insecurity, about 550 million francs CFA is used to screen and project a documentary in the 10 regions of Cameroon on the life of President Paul Biya and highlights of his career, planned at a time when the country is in huge debt insecurity and also witnessing high rates of precariousness. Civil society actors and human rights activists say there is misplaced priority on the part of the Biya regime. For me, Armstrong Sander has the details.
After being screened in Douala in the Littoral region, the next projection of the documentary titled Paul Biya, a Great Statesman, is built for the West region of Cameroon. 55 million francs CFA is the amount reserved for this exercise in the West region, an amount of hurt in parts of the Cameroonian society.
That budget is a waste. It wastes because it will enter some few people's pockets, and there are people who are merchants in the government, and those are the people who are protecting also that project, so that they can take money from there and they will use it, and they will use it for their own personal gain. It's a dumb resources from dumb people who want to project a leader instead of protecting our nation. Those that are project, we don't appreciate it. The population of the Cameroon don't appreciate project that is focused on an individual instead of focus of the nation building.
Irrespective of the source of the funds, human rights activists and civil society actors say that the precariousness in Cameroon deserves first place attention from everyone with means.
The president has the right to use whatever he has. For now, we do not know if this money is a budget that was made from the state coffers or it is his private budget. However, I want to say that what we need at this point in time is for some people to put up documentaries on the state of our bad roads, on the state of the deplorable economic system that most children are suffering from. Schools will be resuming soon. We should ask ourselves questions.
The documentary that captures the life of President Paul Biya from a teenage boy to the presidency will be screened in all the 10 regions of Cameroon. Multiplying 55 million francs CFA per region by 10 regions, Reverend Bear Christian concludes that the government is insensitive to the sufferings of Cameroonians.
A leader's responsibility is to project the notion that he is a leader. And how do you do it? All the infrastructure, the educational system, the health system, the transport system, and other agricultural system, all those different sectors or institutions, you have to build it to be strong.
Without undermining the choice of President Paul Biya's supporters and sympathizers, Nji Lucas highlights other ways to project a leader.
To be a great statesman, it is not for persons to see on screens. It is to be a great statesman is for youth to do the work that the people need.
Producers of the movie say that they were motivated by an embodiment of the fact that people might have gone oblivious of the great victories of President Paul Biya.
And now on to one of our major lead stories. Road users of the National Road Number 8, precisely from Mutengene to Mile 17 in the Fakol Division of the Southwest region, have been crying foul for some time now. The stretch around Mile 14 to Mile 16 is in a very deplorable state. Passengers say they spend almost 2 hours for a distance of less than 15 minutes. Now, our reporter Lucy Liengo is here, takes us to discover the dilapidated state of the Mutengene Mile 17 stretch of road.
For the past month, the road linking Mutengene to Mile 16 on the National Road Number 8 has been an ordeal for road users. The inaccessibility of the Mile 16 Mutengene stretch has provoked traffic. Vehicles are now obliged to spend about 2 to 3 hours on spot for a distance of approximately 12 kilometers.
As you can see, the road is really bad because a day I used to make 5 trips a day, but now if I can try and make 2 trips.
And there is too much traffic. One cannot make it. You cannot make 2 trips a day from Boya to Douala because a lot of potholes. At Mile 16 is the worst. Mile 16 to Mutengene is the worst. That someone can spend about 4 hours, 5 hours from Mile 17 to Mutengene. Just to cross Mile 16 is not easy.
Plying the road necessitates a lot of courage and patience as cars get trapped in the large potholes and slippery road.
And if you can look, the car, the under of my car is scattered because of the bad road.
Let the government see on what they can do to help us on the issue of roads. If they can maintain our roads from Boya to Douala, it will be fine for us because it costs a lot of expenditure on consumption of fuel and maintenance of vehicles.
The population fear if nothing is done to rehabilitate the dilapidated roads, in less than 3 weeks, students will face difficulties heading to school.
If the road continues stays this way, it shows that those students living in Maitin will not be able to go to school because there's so much traffic and the taxis are refusing to come to Maitin because they'll be stuck in traffic.
Though some maintenance works are ongoing on a section of the road, the National Road Number 8 remains a nightmare for motorists until its rehabilitation.
In other news, Christians of the Cameroon Baptist Convention have expressed disappointment, and they are also astonished over the banning of the 2024 edition of the annual camp in Garua. The administration saw in the gathering of the young people a threat to public peace and order. Babila Jonathan now tells us more on the frustrations of the Baptist Christians in Garua.
The news sent shock waves down the spine of this young woman and her fellow Christians. A gathering of young Christians of the Cameroon Baptist Convention, banned by the Division Office of Garua 1 Subdivision in the North region of Cameroon. The protection of social peace put forth by the administrator to justify the decision is unbelievable to the Christians.
I have not the word to express my opinion because I am helpless before this situation. I have the word is lacking in my hair, in my mouth to express this situation. You understood this situation, so I am helpless.
They say the youth camp has been taking place annually and it has never been a threat to public peace, but rather an avenue to promote peace. The Christians in the north, far north and Adamawa regions had been preparing for the event since November last year. It was scheduled for September 15 to 18, 2024. They are encouraged by one of their regional leaders who quotes Matthew chapter 7 verse 44. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you.
From Garua, we take you to Marwa. The planned construction of an air base on a piece of land which is being used by 3 villages in the Salah clan has met some stiff opposition from the villagers. For several hours, the national road number 1 was blocked by the angry protesters and circulation was also interrupted. Asman Jikan Gabriel tells us in the report which comes up next.
Inhabitants of the Salah clan, situated some 25 kilometers from the main town of Marwa, go on the offensive, blocking circulation of vehicles on the national road number 1. The rumor of these inhabitants losing 1,122 hectares of land for the construction of an air base is at the origin of this manifestation. We are angry because we want to fight for our lands given to us by our ancestors. We are farmers, and it's thanks to this land that we pay the fees of our children, take care of their health and feeding. If we leave the land for trees to be planted, then it's a waste on our side. To make matters worse, the inhabitants were surprised that with the collaboration of officials of the Delegation of Environment in the Far North region, the army had already started planting trees on the parcel of land they were cultivating on, leading to the destruction of some of their main crops, which is a source of energy to them. You come and meet trees in your land and they ask you not to spray your land, even if there is a space of 4 meters. When the tree will grow, what will be the solution? To cut the tree or to leave it? In fact, the trees are associated with bad things. When they grow up, they become the hiding place for thieves. After about 3 hours of blockage, we saw the national road stopped from circulation. The divisional officer of Marwa 1 descended to the scene and called for calm. After the intervention of the DO, the inhabitants of Salak say, we have opted to have a peaceful resolution and they have asked us to cultivate on the land, but the project has been suspended. That is what the divisional officer told us in front of everyone who was present. The road that was blocked was finally opened for circulation.
Now let's talk about the presence of rats in most homes in the economic capital, Douala. For months now, rats have been invading some major towns of the country, especially Douala. Many households in the economic capital and other regions find themselves cohabiting somehow with rats in the context where these rats are one of the vectors of monkeypox. A solution must be sought, according to medical doctors and also environmentalists. Cedric Chakutio tells us more.
Inhabitants of Makepe Douala 5 subdivision, just like other quarters in Cameroon, for months now have been living with rats which dictate their law in houses, administrations and businesses. Day and night, these parasites wander around houses like real members of the family. It's been 4 months they are in my shop. I can't sell my goods with peace. I put my goods in the bucket, they break the bucket and eat the good. Sincerely, I'm tired of these rats.
Ici, les souris se comportent comme les hommes.
Here, rats do like human beings. When you are in your bedroom, the rat looks at you and waits as if you were friends.
Si tu blagues, tu vas confondre la souris au rat.
Without any embarrassment, they are not afraid to move in public. According to an environmentalist, their arrival is due to garbage waste in our neighborhoods.
Et les rongeurs n'existaient pas avant. Et aujourd'hui, nous nous retrouvons avec une prolifération des rongeurs tout simplement parce que l'incivisme en termes de déchets a vu le jour. Et derrière cela, on se retrouve donc avec ces rongeurs qui ont faim, qui ont besoin de s'alimenter et qui vont donc vers tous ces déchets sauvages qui sont présents un peu partout dans la ville.
The damage they cause is very often irreversible. Foodstuff, clothes, paperwork and other household equipment can't escape the very sharp teeth of these animals, a situation which can be fatal for their health.
En matière de risques, il y en a plusieurs. Les risques peuvent être d'ordre médical.
The risks are enormous. It is at times due to these rats that one can catch yellow fever.
L'électrique, les courants, les gaz et tout le reste. Et d'ordre hygiénique aussi, avec les excréments qu'ils mettent partout.
There are even other risks of security. The rats usually eat our cables and we find ourselves in danger.
Cette histoire de fièvre typhoïde qui ne finissent pas peuvent être dues aux rongeurs.
In a context where monkeypox is rampant in Africa, doctors say one has to be careful so as to limit contamination.
La variole de singe, oui, ils peuvent être incriminés dans la variole de singe parce que...
Monkeypox, yes. Contamination can be done through these rats.
Et aussi hommes et hommes. Dans Animal pour hommes, les rongeurs peuvent effectivement ramasser peuvent se faire infecter en mangeant les aliments infectés par quelqu'un qui est malade.
Because they can eat an infected food, then deposit excretors on one's food who is not infected, and he will immediately be infected.
Dans certains quartiers comme Panda, où les rongeurs rongent carrément les pieds des gens. Donc si ce rongeur est infecté, il peut effectivement infecter la personne à qui il ronge ou bien il se partage certains aliments et tout le reste.
Eliminating them becomes a challenge as attempts to kill them often result in their multiplication. Experts call on the population to keep their surroundings clean and respect hygiene measures.
So rats too can be dangerous. Now we take you out of our national frontiers. Cholera outbreak in Sudan has killed at least 22 people and infected more than 300 others. Sudan has been attacked by a cholera outbreak that has killed nearly 24 people and sickened hundreds more in recent weeks, health authorities said elsewhere. An mpox outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo has killed over 600 people since the start of the year, with all provinces affected by the virus, according to the health minister. For me, I'm Tom Sander with our foreign page roundup.
Sudanese Health Minister Haitham Mohamed Ibrahim says that at least 22 people have died from the disease and that at least 350 confirmed cases of cholera have been detected across the country, though he fails to give a time frame from the death or the tally since the start of the year 2024. The World Health Organization, on its part, says that 78 deaths were recorded from cholera this year in the country Sudan. It further reveals that the disease has sickened more than 2,400 others between January 1st and July 28th. The cholera outbreak is the latest calamity for Sudan, which was plunged into chaos in April last year when simmering tensions between the military and a powerful paramilitary group exploded into open warfare across the country. The conflict has turned the capital Khartoum and other urban areas into battlefields, wrecking civilian infrastructure and an already battered healthcare system. Without the basics, many hospitals and medical facilities have closed their doors. Elsewhere, an mpox outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo has killed 548 people since the start of the year, with all provinces affected by the virus, according to the health ministry in the DRC.
The situation constitutes a public health emergency of international concern.
The World Health Organization on Wednesday declared the mpox surge in Africa a global public health emergency, worried by the rise in cases in the DRC and the spread to nearby countries. The DRC has so far recorded 16,700 confirmed or suspected cases, added to the more than 570 deaths confirmed by the country's health ministry. In December 2024, the country declared a national outbreak of Mpox, prompting the establishment of an incident management system in February 2023 based on the increasing number of reported cases. The diseases affecting 17 African countries and several others outside the continent is impacting younger populations, particularly children under 15, described by experts as a novelty in the context of the outbreak.
Thank you for me, Armstrong Sander. And now we talk sports. The head coach of the Indomitable Lions has responded to the query addressed to him by Fecafoot. Mark Breeze, the head of the national senior men's football team, says he's prepared to work with the Cameroon Football Federation, Fecafoot. Mark Breeze made the declaration in a two-page letter, which was a response to a query, a letter he received from the scribe of the Cameroon Football Federation, Junan Blaise. Mark Breeze says he has a very solid set of players that is left the chance to work. With them, Cameroon will regain its position as Africa's powerhouse in football. Responding to the interview he recently granted to a Belgian newspaper, in which he said many things about the poor management of the national football team, Mark Breeze said what he said was in good faith, and it's aimed at helping the team to grow stronger. Mark Breeze, however, frowned at Fecafoot regarding the choice of the stadium where the Lions will play their upcoming games. According to him, he is still in the construction level, reasons why he wants all his matches to be played at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. Mark Breeze was also surprised, according to him, that he wasn't consulted before the choice was made for the Japoma Stadium. He also questioned why he was assaulted on several occasions by some officials of Fecafoot and nobody came to defend him on his debut at the technical bench. The national coach, the coach of the national team, also expressed dissatisfaction to the query letter sent to him or to the players during their last meeting in the month of May 2024. Cameroon takes on Namibia, that will be next month, in a day one encounter of the AFCON. So we will be coming with details of the response to Mark Breeze's query letter to Fecafoot. That would be in our subsequent news editions precisely at 8 p.m. tonight. Viewers, that was what we gathered for you this evening. Thank you so much for always being with us on Equinoxe Television. Don't go away. Equinoxe Soir, live from Yaoundé with Guy Zogo and Julien Beth Bissar will be in the studio. That would be at 8 p.m. for the news in the French language. Bye-bye for now and see you again tomorrow, God willing.